What is up, everybody? You know, I always start these shows off by showing love to those companies who help make these podcasts possible. First is my friends over at CompanyCAM. Anybody out there, if you are managing, owning a trades business, I don't care if you're HVAC, plumbing, electrical, landscaping, whatever it is, CompanyCAM is an amazing tool. I'm talking amazing. This thing does so much that I don't even know how to explain it to you. They keep growing new things. I have to get them back on the show ASAP because I've been with them for so long and watched them grow. It started out, they do photo and video documentation better than anybody else. I don't care what CRM you're using, they're trying to do a bunch of things. Company Cam, this is what they do: the documentation on the job site, capturing the photos, high quality photos to be able to use in your marketing, to be able to put out for SEO on Google and all that kind of stuff. It keeps it off of your cell phone. You don't got to worry about trying to clean through or buying more space, whether it's through Google Play or through Apple, your iCloud. It keeps it all in there. Everybody in the company who has an account can see it. You know who took it, when they took it, where they were. It's geotagged. It's absolutely amazing. One of the companies I was at before, they use this for the install team and the sales team to communicate back and forth. The lead installer could be, hey, I see you're on that job. While you're there, could you get a better picture of this or give me a video of this? Hey, I got to run this wire. Like it was instant communication. It was absolutely amazing. It was just another avenue to make you more successful, to be able to get these jobs done in a timely manner. They are doing so many things. They offer pre-made professional templates to be able to put your pictures in, just drag and drop, and to send them to the customer before and afters. Sometimes you're doing a maintenance, little things like that. People are working from home, but they're in a meeting. They can't sit there and talk to you. You got to clean the blower wheel, the blower motor, whatever it is. You got to clean all these things, and you give them all the dirty pictures, and then you do after of it clean. It is extremely powerful. All right. Pictures speak 1,000 words, whatever that saying is. It works. You should be using pictures if you cannot physically show this to the customer. All right. Now they even offer AI note taking. It will take notes for you, make it look professional. It's all going to be in there for you. So please, everybody, check out Company Cam. You can click the link in the description. They will give you a free 14-day trial. Free 14-day trials. Try it out. I can't imagine you wouldn't like it. If you don't, no harm, no foul. If you do, they're going to give you 50% off your first 3 months just for being a part of HVAC Uncensored Nation. Alrighty, on to the next. Guys, it is going to be my friends over at Yellow Jacket. And actually, I'm going to click because there's something that I want to talk about that I've been using. I said something before about this kit, but I want to see if they actually show it, the individual item, and they don't. But I'm talking about their pressure probes. And there's a lot of amazing brands out there, so I'm not trying to take a jab at anybody, but using some of the other ones, one of my quarrels, so to speak, was going to be you have to use a T. I mean, a lot of people, I'm kind of old fashioned. I like to use these to check systems when I'm charging. I like to use a manifold with the hoses. It's just easier. But there's a lot of people nowadays that like to charge. They like to use these, these manifolds like this, these probes to be able to charge. And it's a pain with some of the other ones. You have to buy a T. You have to make sure you get the right T. Some people buy the little flare looking ones and wonder why it leaks. You have to get the actual T. Well, one thing that I love about Yellow Jackets, in their pressure probes, they have a T built into it. So when you connect it, there's already a T. You can connect your hose. You can charge. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I love it. They're thinking about these little features. I love it that Yellow Jacket has been listening to a bunch of us, taking our feedback. I have been using this kit for the last 2 weeks or so and absolutely love it in conjunction with the wireless clamp. It all comes right there on the app, and it's all amazing, nice and easy. The vacuum probe goes on there. Like, all of it is good. I think Yellow Jacket has really, really stepped their game up. And like I always say, I will never, ever tell anybody what to buy. But if you're looking to upgrade before the summer comes, give my friends over at Yellow Jacket a try. I have been falling in love with it, and I have pretty much used every single brand. I have most of them, and I'm really, really digging these. I'm liking the way they work. It's working for me. All right. So remember, 75 years of expertise built into every tool. Let's get on to the show. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless the United States. And thank you to all those men and women who defend it.
Welcome to the #1 rated HVAC podcast. If you're looking to grow in the HVAC industry, then you're in the right spot. Blue collar people talking about blue collar shit. Let's get better together. So turn up the volume, buckle your seatbelt, and let's welcome your host, Gil KB Jr.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast. I'm your host, Gil KV Jr. Here we are on a Saturday night. Man, I apologize. I thank you for some of you being here. It has been a crazy week. As many of you know, I started a new position for a new company, which I'm extremely excited about. So I am the general manager of a company, Carroll Mechanical, and absolutely love this place. It's super excited after my last opportunity, which I don't want to speak ill. It just wasn't a good fit. It was just a bad experience, and that's both parties. So I'm not casting blame on them. If God forbid they're to watch this, it takes two to tango. But just what wasn't fun, and then taking a little time off wasn't really in a good place with a lot of personal things as well. And but where I am now, I love this place, man. We have an amazing team already bringing people over and hiring some awesome people, building this team before summer. And I'm super pumped. So I've been out riding with technicians, just trying to build that relationship to the ones that I don't know. Some of them I brought over, they worked for me before. But some of them, I don't know. So I'm trying to build that relationship and work with them and show them things. And, that's the easiest way to me is to go out there and ride with them and talk with them, interact, hang out, buy them lunch, not bringing you into the office and, my name's Gil. And, that's just never worked. So it's been good, but I've been out late. And with travel, I haven't been getting home until like 7:38 plus. And it's been rough, then you also got to deal with the home stuff. So yeah, Wednesday, there was just no way it wasn't going to happen. I got home late. I was going to try. I literally had eaten nothing all day. I was texting back and forth with Rookie, and I was like, dude, let me hurry up and eat. And for some reason, when I put the show out, I'm weird. I use Ecamm, which is different than most people, but I don't need it. But I use this service called Restream to put the show out. Once again, don't need it, but it's just something I've always done, and I just stick with it because I'm used to it. That's what puts the show out, like the link on Facebook, on YouTube for you guys to click on before the show happens. And it put it out like 7 times. And then it put like the wrong show card on. It was a whole bunch of stuff. So I tried to fix that, was rushing. And then I tried to go live. I was literally watching you guys communicate in the chat. I was talking to people and I clicked go live, but for some reason it wasn't going live. And I was like, yeah, I'm starving. I'm tired, and I don't feel like dealing with this right now. So that's why I ex-nayed the Wednesday show, and the plan was to do it last night. But once again, I did not get home until late, and I was just beat. My daughters were trying to spend some time with me, so ex-nayed again tonight. Lost power. So that's what I mean by when I say the podcast god's been kicking me in the balls, but. It's all good. It's all good. It always works out. So I know this is not my normal time. I don't expect a bunch of people to be in here live tonight, but that's okay. If you watch it afterwards or listen to the audio, that's cool. I appreciate anybody who is in here. Mr. Neil C. Vids, thank you for being here. And my main man, Mr. Adrian, who's actually going to be a guest on the show in the next week or the upcoming weeks is going to be on here. So looking forward to talking that. My man's always killing it, doing 9,500 things at one time. Don't know how he does it. Oh, and then we got Mr. Colin McCrow showed up. Mr. doesn't answer my phone calls because he doesn't love me. It's fine. used to be from Maryland, changed his phone number, and he just forgets people. It's like, yeah, I had a situation this week out with and this is not the topic of the show, but I'm curious to ask to some of your technical ability. I consider myself pretty good at what I do, but we had a customer who has it's a 3 ton. So just so you know, air handler heat pump, but it's a ream system outside and a Goodman air handler inside. And that's only because the 410A stuff right now. And, the guy, it was a compressor, got it, we got him an outdoor unit around here. Ream's the only one that had a 410A system that we were able to purchase. This was actually done before I came to the company, but just giving you some backstory. Anyway, the TXV was replaced. So yeah, new outdoor unit, new coil. Apparently, when they put in the new A coil, they didn't have the TXV. Don't know why we didn't reuse the old one. Once again, I wasn't here, so I'm not sure. I went back with somebody and put in that TXV. It was a goofy day. It was hard to get the charge right. The tech that I was with, actually a female tech who doesn't work here anymore. But anyway, her scale wasn't working. So charge was goofy. I didn't have a good feeling, had to go back. Went back to the call, and I want to hear what you guys think. It was giving you a bunch of goofy symptoms. So it was like a 70 suction pressure, probably a 400 and rising head pressure. You had low superheat, high subcooling. It had a run load amps of 19.9. Sometimes it was pulling 24. Other times it was pulling 7 to 10. And it was goofy. Suction pressure would never go up. Head pressure, one thing about the Goodman ones, you can adjust the TXV. And I'd get the head pressure to stay down a little bit, but then afterwards it would just slowly rise. And this ream system has that like second stage unloader on it. But the compressor was making noise that I've never heard a compressor make. This thing was wild. So the unit's only like 2 weeks old. So I'm trying to see if I can get Ream to give me another outdoor unit, but I don't think that's going to happen because you can't find them around here right now. But if any of you heard what I just said and you have any ideas, let me know. It was almost giving me signs like it was a liquid line restriction, but I literally pulled a deep vacuum, pulled the charge, filter dryer was replaced, even though it was brand new. Like all those little things were done, and it just I have no idea what it was. So even after doing this 25 years, I left there scratching my head. But hopefully the guy will go with a new system. We'll just credit him back what he paid for the outdoor unit, even though the guy's, one of those customers, he told me that, yeah, just so you know, man, I make $8,000. He either said $8,000 an hour or $8,000 a day. I don't know. He's pretty cool, but that was kind of a douchey statement. I'm just being real. And if he watches this, that was kind of a douchey statement, bro. Just saying. Like, why the fuck would you say that to me? And then at the end, he's like, "Yeah, don't tell anybody that." Like, yeah, I'm gonna run on everybody in the street and tell them that. So kind of weird. But anywho, what is up with everybody in the chat before we get into some of these topics? How the hell have you guys been this week? They are, Adrian. The Yellow Jacket probes are really cool, man. And I've tried a bunch of them as you have, but I've really been impressed by the Yellow Jacket ones. I think the look of them is a little goofy. You know what I mean? I feel like they could have made them look a little bit better. But then again, I don't really care how they look. Kind of the square. It almost makes the look of them makes them feel cheapish. And I told them this. It doesn't make them feel as premium, but they do the job. And I love some of the other features that they have. And that's, they're one of my sponsors. And that's me giving my honest opinion. Mr. Tons, what is up, my brother? Yeah, man, that's what I'm thinking. It is an 80-foot or more line set. And as most people know, you start getting close to, you shouldn't be over 100 foot in residential. And when you do, it's going to take out compressors. That's going to happen. It's the nature of the beast. But this one was just weird that it was showing me symptoms of like, it would show me a liquid line restriction, and then it would show me an overcharge symptom. And then, it just kept going back and forth. And I was like, huh. And, then when I put in the new TXV, how you put in the equalization tube, sometimes if you put it on like the existing little part in the coil, some of them you leave the Schrader core in, some of them you take it out. I didn't think it really mattered, and it didn't, but the Schrader core wasn't in. So when I, recovered the refrigerant, pulled a vacuum while I had no refrigerant, I put it in. I'm like, okay, maybe the TXV is overfeeding, and that's why I can't get my suction pressure up. That wasn't it, which that wouldn't have been the issue anyway. But, oh, thank you, brother. Of course, man. I'm so glad that I could be of help, man. And thank you for being here, brother. You've been here supporting me for quite a long time, man. I appreciate you. And I am extremely grateful that I was able to help. Yeah, that's what I'm doing, Kraus. But the only thing is, with not being able to get R410 equipment like this, I don't think they're going to, not saying they won't give me a new outdoor unit. I just don't think they're going to have one to give to me. So, and I just don't want this customer to be an ass. So I think it's going to be like, hey, man, I can either replace the compressor, which he's probably not going to be happy about, or I'm like, hey, I can credit you whatever you paid for this outdoor unit and take that off a whole unit replacement. Obviously, I'm, going to make sure that we make our money, if you catch my drift, in case there's people watching. But yeah, that would be the only thing I can do. How is everybody else dealing with are you guys having issues getting 454B? Unless you're, dealing with Goodman or Daikin or one of them and you're dealing with R32. But yeah, so obviously I was out of the business for a little bit, I wasn't really running the company, and I didn't have a problem before, but now trying to buy 454B is like fucking pulling teeth. It's crazy. Mr. Zeke, who's not in here tonight, thank God, was able to get me a jug, maybe two. He was getting them from somebody that was letting him get one a day, but then that person even cut him off because he wasn't spending enough money. I'm curious to how it's going around. I've been reading some articles, seeing that other people are having the same issue. So I'm curious to anyone in the chat. Have you, Kraus, Adrian, any of you, have you had the same issue when trying to get 454B? Although, Adrian, you do more commercial stuff, don't you, brother? So you don't really have to mess with that as much, I don't think. Yeah. Yep. Same thing here, Kraus. And some of them ain't even doing that. Like, they're only selling it to like their top dealers, which is kind of bullshit. So you're going to sell me the equipment, which that's fantastic, but then I can't buy the refrigerant. And I don't even know what to deal with. At first, people are like, oh, it's because of tariffs. But I've heard it has nothing to do with necessarily tariffs. And it's they don't have enough tank production. Have you guys heard anything? I mean, I don't know. That could be total bullshit. I'm not sure. But real fast, any football fans out there? My man Jason's not in here tonight. I was going to ask him how he felt about his Bills. I'm pretty happy about my Ravens draft. So I'm liking our first pick. Safety Malachi Starks, guy's a stud. And the fact that our second round pick, that dude Mike Green, the edge rusher out of Marshall, was able to fall to us. Absolutely amazing. Guy's a stud. I know the only reason he fell there is because of those sexual assault, allegedly allegations. Couldn't say it right. But I do know the Ravens are pretty thorough, and they don't put up with that kind of stuff. And they also have the stuff going on with Justin Tucker. So I know that they wouldn't. They did their due diligence, so to speak. Damn. If there was something that popped up on a red flag, they wouldn't have taken him. So I'm pretty pumped because that guy's a stud, and we need a like that home run hitter when you're in a game and he sacks Josh Allen. No offense, Jason. I love you, buddy. Anyway, I'm gonna want some interaction from you guys if possible. If not, then it'll just be me talking to myself. That's okay. I'm used to it. Okay, never mind. I got a comment finally. Tank shortage, but plenty of 32 out there. Yep, I've heard the same thing. Same tank. I thought. So there is supposed to be something different because it has the left-hand threads, but you're right though, Kraus. It's the same tank. It's just the threads on it are different. They did, Kraus. I'm telling you, Ravens jammed out, dude. I'm happy with their draft class. I really am. Not gonna lie, man. I'll see how you feel, but some people brought it up, and I think I'd be okay with it. I love Mark Andrews, and I'm not saying this because of him dropping the pass in the playoffs. That means nothing to me. I could care less. I love the guy. He's awesome. If he stays, he stays. Whatever. I'm cool with it. But I've heard some people saying that the Ravens should offer to trade him to the Packers, who can build their offense with a stud tight end, a proven guy, and what is his name? Jair Alexander, the cornerback, to come here. What do you think about that, Kraus? I think I'd be open for that. I think I would do that. Then we would have a true no-fly zone, and if we can't win the Super Bowl with that roster, then I quit. You know what I mean? So what I'm gonna do, if you anybody watching the live show, Freon Leon, what is up, my man? Thank you for being here, buddy. Sorry, it's been a crazy week. I said it earlier since you weren't here. Getting home late and all that kind of stuff is just and had some technical difficulties on Wednesday. But we are here tonight. But thank you for being here, my man. Also, Freon, I'm actually going to I have a couple of extra things for you and Sam, so I can finally get those bags out to you. And I got some extra stuff I'm sticking in there because you guys have been so fucking cool. So they will actually, I know I've said it a million times, they will actually be shipped out sometime this week, buddy. So finally get that to you after 9 years of waiting. Appreciate you. Man, I didn't bring my Gatorade. I'm down here choking and shit. Huh. Anyway, if you saw the topic of the show and something that I want to get into is, hold on, keep getting, every time I try to get on, there's something on here. That would be a solid trade. Got to really see what the contracts are because Alexander's got a larger hit, I think, than Mark. Yeah, I think we're fine. Without him, you know, Isaiah Likely, it's his time to shine, and in either way, this will be Mark's last year because him and Likely are both due for contracts. This is the last year of their contract. They're not going to sign both, and Isaiah Likely is 4 years younger, so business decision just makes sense. They're going to sign Likely, not Mark Andrews. So rather than let him walk, and maybe getting a compensatory pick for him, trade him. I agree, the contract thing. So that's what they would have to work out with that kind of stuff. But if God forbid Mark is here, like I said, I'm good with it. Don't care. Anyway, enough football. But hey, it was the last day of the draft. Even if I start getting on to another topic and you see that and you want to start talking about your team, please feel free to put in the chat and I will change subjects. You guys know I love football. Season ticket holder for the Ravens. So I'm more than happy to talk ball with you. But for now, because as I get talking, and obviously as you guys see this, I'm a little bit ahead of you. Yeah. So yeah, the topic of the show is what are some of the biggest issues? Damn it, here we go. Every time I go to say this, somebody don't see y'all trading for corners or safeties. Y'all draft those pretty well. You're not wrong, Rion, but it's some of those guys are young. So it is we have four number one picks back there now. So Marlon Humphrey a little bit older, but a first round pick. Kyle Hamilton, first round pick. Malachi Starks now, first round pick. Nate Wiggins, first round pick. But whoever that other guy is, so it might happen because if we have another guy like Alexander that can be outside, then you can bring, Marlon Humphrey in as the nickel where he really like the slot guy, which he really likes to be. But I could be wrong. No, you're good, Nasty. It's been a goofy week, man. So now that more people in here, I'll say it again really, really fast. Me starting my new job, which I absolutely love. I've been out riding with the techs, and I have not been getting home till late. We've been busy as hell. It was warm here last week, and just trying to build a relationship with these new techs. And I'm not getting home until like 7:30, 8, 9 o'clock. Because I have an hour commute, at least for now, until I move, which is actually going to be happening relatively soon. To be honest with you, we can talk about that later. But Wednesday, I got home late. I had eaten nothing all day. I was texting back and forth with Rookie. And I noticed when I put the show out, the link, it happened like 7 times. It had 7 different shows that was the same thing. Some had the right show card. Some didn't. Got that figured out. Then I'm like woofing down. I don't even know what the fuck I ate. I was woofing down something because I was starving. And then when I came down here, I only see one show. I'm like, okay, cool. I see you guys in the chat. I start going. I hit live, but it never went live. And I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this shit right now. So that's why I ex-nayed Wednesday. Plan was to go last night. Once again, got home late as hell. So that's why we're here tonight. Tonight I lost power, but we're here. Everything is good. The wind blows in my neighborhood and the fucking power goes out. But anyway, you are not late, Mr. Nasty. You're here right on fucking time. Thank you, buddy. But all right, every time I say this, somebody comments about football. But I would love to know if you guys could put in the chat, what are some of the biggest issues facing HVAC techs today? What are some issues facing you? Is technology getting in the way? Are we getting too fancy? I would love to know your guys' opinion. Also, when you guys see this up on the corner, it means the phone lines are going to be open. I also have a new segment that I'm going to add. It is going to be the HVAC Uncensored Neglected text line. So it's going to be where you guys can send me text throughout the week. Not phone calls. You can send me text because the phone's going to be sitting down here in the studio. But you can send me texts of just a written text of, go fuck yourself. Hey, I'm working on this, blah, 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 whatever. You could send me a video of something you're doing, whatever it is, and I'm going to randomly show them on the next show. It's going to be a little segment I'm going to do. Some of them, if they're really good, might actually make it onto my social media pages. So just so you know, it's going to be that number when I put it back up. But when you see that number on the screen, 443-422-1000, it's going to be that the phone lines are open. You guys are more than welcome to call in and talk to me. Just so you know, before you call in, you will be on the audio podcast. So if you call in, you're on the live show. When the audio goes out on Monday, you will be in there, just so you know. Yes, a lot of VA boys did get drafted this weekend, Leon. Mr. Leon says, as a manager of 11 guys, want training but doesn't want to get it outside of working hours. So do you provide any during working hours? So my belief is you should be providing something during working hours. even if it's an hour in the morning before you go out. And they do need to want to do something on their own. I agree, but it's got to be a combination of both that really makes them grow. That's where ride-alongs happen. Because then you can do more one-on-one stuff to try to really mold somebody. Because you know how it is. You do a service meeting, you cover a topic, and guys want. Oh, okay, they want. They want training, but don't want to get it outside of working hours. That's what you're saying, Mr. Zeke. What is up, brother? Yeah, man. Sorry, it was a goofy week with Wednesday and working and all that kind of stuff. So it's Saturday. That's a good one. So okay, so that's a big issue. I was just making sure that I understood you. So your guys want training, they just don't want to do it outside of work hours, correct? To make sure I'm getting it correct, I'm pretty sure that's what you're saying. And yes, I do not agree with that. I think that like I said a minute ago, I believe in providing some training while you're there. Obviously, you can't do it that long, especially when the busy time comes. But you should still be doing meetings and training even in the summertime. All right. It was pitched to me this way, and it actually made me think. Speaking of football, if your team makes it to the playoffs or the Super Bowl, they don't stop practicing, do they? So we shouldn't do it either. We should technically be practicing more when we're getting into our Super Bowl season. So even if it's for an hour every morning or twice a week, 3 times a week, you should have some kind of training in the morning. And make sure it's structured. If anybody needs help, I can help you structure those meetings. Let's see. Freon says, we have service meetings every week. Actually, here, I'm going to put it up on the screen. We have service meetings every week with trainings, and I do ride-alongs once a week. And shit, I email links and bulletins of what we do, and they don't take advantage of it. That sucks, man. So it sounds like you're doing everything you can. I don't blame you for that being frustrating, Leon. I really don't. I mean, when you're talking to your employees, like what are they telling you? Like what kind of feedback are you getting? Like what's their reasoning why? I mean, are these people getting off at a decent time? Are they working late every night? And the time they do have off? Like, I always try to play devil's advocate. Try to put yourself in their shoes. I'm not saying you have to agree with them, but just try to look at it through the other lens. And sometimes it makes sense. It just makes you think about something in a different way. But I mean, it sounds like you're doing all the right things. But, then again, there's 3 sides to every story. But I can 100% see your frustration, though. That would frustrate me. One thing I say that helps with trainings is the way that I've always been successfully building companies, and I've been fortunate in my career to do it a couple of times. I never, ever preach revenue to the people that work for me, ever. I preach I want them. If I'm talking to you and you're a technician, I want you to make money. I want you to accomplish your goals, to buy a house, to buy a car, to get married, to have a child, whatever it is. I want you to accomplish your goal. And I'll have them put vision boards, whatever you want to call it, dream boards up in the service, up in the training area. And we check that every meeting that we have. And I encourage them to go start, wiping those things off. So I make it about them making money and make sure there's a pay structure for them to be able to make money if they go the extra mile. Because when they make money, guess what? The company's making money. So using that structure, do you still have bad eggs? Of course. That just means they're not going to fit into your culture and you got to find somebody else. That's the sad part. But if all of them are doing like that, man, that's a hard one. That's a hard one, Leon. I'm sorry you're going through that, brother. It sounds like you are trying to do everything right. But you may not like what I'm going to tell you. What you should do is you can ask Zeke. I made one of these for his company. I don't think we ever actually did it, Zeke, which speaking of that, I can send it to you. Tech support guys, rather. Hold on. I get a lot of tech support calls. Matter of fact, I'm going to put these up on the screen so people watching can see. I get a lot of tech support calls from guys that rather call around and skip steps on diagnosis. Sounds like you need to start putting some ads out to look for some new people, man. And I know it's easier said than done, but you need to raise the bar. And if these people don't meet to the bar, then sadly you got to ask somebody, especially if you're trying to do everything you can for your employees. Always look in the mirror, and we can always change. I have always been what they call a player's coach, as far as that's my method of managing people. I don't ask them to do anything I wouldn't do myself. I haven't done, I'm not willing to do. If I teach them a process or something like that, and they say it doesn't work, I will come show them that it works. I'll put my money where my mouth is. But sometimes, you can lead a horse to water. You can't make him drink it. And, if a person is eventually just not going to change, then you got to keep them long enough until you can find their replacement. Because obviously you can't just cut everybody. You can't fire everybody. You got a business to run. But you got to start planning ahead. But one good thing to do is to give out a survey. If you need help, Leon, email me. I can help you set this up. I might even have one built where you just got to change the logo. And you let people answer this anonymously. Because that's the only way you're going to get real answers from people is if they know that it's not being tracked. You can print it out. They can write it out. They can do it online and send it back. And it doesn't give you their email. But you ask them a whole bunch of different questions and you're going to get the real answers from your employees. And you're going to find out what they think of you, what they think about the company. Sometimes this is hard to get. It's hard to see the answers that you get. But if you want to grow, you got to take that fucking kick in the nuts and move forward. So, and one of the questions could be, do you want training? And you might get all of them might say, I don't want training. I'll do my own training. So you might be trying to provide something, even though you know they need it. But if they don't want it, you can't give it to them, if that makes sense. But that sucks, man. I've definitely been in that position. Well, not same position, but similarly. And that sucks, man. No, I get that, man. That sucks, Leon, because you get in that situation where you're fucking held hostage by your employees and you're trapped. That sucks, man. I'm sorry you're going through that, brother. So if you see, he says, definitely have a standard, but when you're a national account, they want bodies until it's hurting in the margins for what they're making. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Well, I'm sorry you're going through that, brother. That sounds like a shitty situation. Obviously, you care. Yeah, I can. I still have the test too. I can pre-make those. But yeah, I have some pre-made tests if you want them, Leon. And I can send you that survey too if you ever want to do it. So just let me know. I got it all saved in my hard drive. More than happy to send it to you. And if you send me like your logo or whatever, I'll even change it around for you. So when I send it to you, it's just ready to go. Anybody else with the next one? What are some of the biggest issues facing HVAC techs today? What do you guys think? I'm curious to hear, everybody. I'm actually going to open the phone lines if anybody would like to call. The number is 443-422-1000. Please, if you're listening and someone is on the line, if somebody calls in, please don't keep calling. Wait till the person's off. I'll keep it up for a few minutes, see if anybody calls in. I know some people used to like calling in better than popping up on video because it was just a voice. One thing that I think is a problem, and you guys have probably heard me say this before, I feel like technicians they learn just enough to be dangerous, just enough to carry a tune. It's kind of similar to what you're saying, Leon. These technicians, they learn enough to be able to go run 50% of calls, maybe a little bit more, and then they stop learning. But then they're the same ones who bitch about wanting more money, and they have like a negative personality when they're hurting themselves. Like, never ever stop learning. Never stop learning. 25 years in the trade, I will never stop learning. And another thing, your time in the trade doesn't automatically make you good at what you do. I've met some people that have been in the trade for like 3-4 years and they're fucking killers. They're awesome. So, being in the trade for a whole bunch of time you would think that you know more, but doesn't mean that you're some great tech. I mean, yeah, I think that I'm pretty good now after 25 years, but I was the person that I'm describing there for a long time when I first left my dad. I knew enough to be dangerous and thought I was king ding-a-ling because I was making more money than my friends until I finally, grew up a little bit and realized the amazing gift that my dad gave me by bringing me into this trade. And then that's when I started. Actually, I don't know where I have a bookcase around here somewhere, but I used to buy all these books. I still have all my books with like the highlighter marks and, take an online test and all kinds of stuff. I wanted to be better. I was sick and tired of going out and not knowing what's going on. Then I wanted to know everything. I wanted to read everything. And I wasn't very good at reading and retaining, but I did it anyway because I'd read something, go out in the field the next day and be like, oh, okay, shit, that's what they were talking about. Now this makes sense. And shit just started to click. I got addicted to it. Absolutely, Zeke. We got to learn every day. Techs, installers, managers, business owners. You always have to constantly be evolving. I'm not the same, manager today that I was when I first got in. If I was, I wouldn't be very good at my job. We're to the next year's symposium. That's pretty sweet. Let me put that up for you, Rihanna. I'm offering a ticket to next year's symposium for a first time fixed rate during the summer as incentive to want to fix it and not quote it for the first time. That's pretty good. Do you have the ability to take away people's right to quote systems and make them earn it back? Or is that something that can't happen? Like, because I don't know. Is like your bosses like on top of you, like not gonna let that happen because it is about the margins, which I get that side as well. It is a great idea. I am going to do my damnedest to try to make it out to the symposium. Commercial service. Oh, okay. Well, forget what I said before then, Leon. That was all bullshit. um, yeah, I'm gonna try to get to the symposium next year. I've been invited. Brian Orr does an amazing job with the symposium. Me and him have talked several times in Florida at AHR. It's at the different AHRs, and he told me, he said, "Hey, man, if you know, you're more than welcome to come. If you want to teach a class, whatever you want to do, just let me know." So that was very, very gracious and awesome of Brian for him to say that. So I definitely want to get down there and be able to do one of those. I've heard nothing but good things. Bunch of good people who care about the technical side of what we do. We repair we repair quotes are like parts for repairs, but you guys use quotes to crush oh, okay. So now you're doing what? The commercial versus residential kicking the nuts? Is that what we're doing here, Leon? Jesus, man. I thought we were friends. And then all of a sudden you just, you're coming up to dap me up and you kick me in the dick. That's not cool. Just kidding. Well, normally with a lot of the commercial accounts, you have to get approval anyway. Like you might have like a $500 limit, $1,000 limit, or whatever the limit is that you can do that amount of work, and then anything over you have to quote. Is that kind of how it is, Leon? Ew. Long ass hair on my microphone. You guys know a damn sure ain't mine. What the fuck was that? Be my daughter's down here playing in my damn studio. Ew. Ew, that's gross. I can't do hair in my mouth, man. Even if it's my family's, that's still gross. Ugh, I'll fucking yak. What the fuck? Use my language. Sorry. Um, the hair got me messed up. Forgot where I was going. Oh, is like, I feel like also nowadays, like a lot of technicians feel like the tools make them who they are. Having all these fancy tools, they're awesome, especially when you do this every day. This is your life, this is your livelihood, it's your job. Having nice tools is amazing, but you have to know what you're doing with those tools. I don't care, and I still think so. It's good to learn how to use analog gauges, to know how they operate, how to find superheat and subcooling. Because once you get all that information right in your hands, okay, and now you have, your pressure, your saturation temperatures, your superheat, your subcooling, that's fantastic. But if you don't know what those numbers are supposed to be, what the fuck does it matter? Like if you look at it and you're like, okay, I got a 128 suction, I got a 378 head pressure, saturations this, saturations that. I got a subcooling of 22 and superheat of 22 and a subcooling of 7. If you don't know what it's supposed to be, then knowing the numbers is kind of irrelevant. You know what I mean? And I feel like some people get these tools like the RLS tool for like pressing refrigerant fittings. Awesome. But like just know what you're doing, why you're doing what you're doing. And I feel like a lot of people, and it's good. That's why, to be honest, we need to be careful as influencers that when we talk about products, that's why I never tell anybody. I always say, I will never tell you to buy anything. If you're in the market, you're looking to upgrade, you're going to buy these things anyway. Give these people a try. That's why I say that. Because some of these people are like, oh, the cool guys have it. Or I admire this person and they have it. So I want to get this. It happens. It happens to everybody. I get it. We've all been there, done that. But make sure you know what you're doing with said tool. Don't just buy the tool just to buy it. Let me see. Commercial. Let me see. Yeah, we have good TE, but most of our customers would rather fix it the first time, like ice machines. No, that makes sense. Resi presses the sales, and that hurts the trade. Um, I don't disagree with you on that at all, Leon. There's a lot of people, a lot of big companies. Well, I'll just say companies in the residential industry of HVAC that prioritize sales way too much. And it does make us look bad. I agree with that 100 fucking percent. And I get it. It's a necessary evil, but I believe in doing it the right way. I get it. There's guys that have done way more than me. Okay. I sold a little under like 3 point something million in a year. I want to say it was 3.8. I don't know. I forget. But that meant the world to me. But I never had to do something like that. That's why when I teach people, I always say I want you to be good technically and communication. I do not use the word sales. but I want you to bring up everything to the customer that you see, no matter how big or how small, to let the customer decide. And if that system is older, some customers will be, hey, I rather buy a new one. And it's their decision, not mine. And I want to tell them everything. And obviously I'm talking about the residential side. Because I rather tell them the 15 things that I see that is not right about their system and them say no to everything. And then God forbid something happens. They're like, oh shit, Gil said that was going to happen. Then I don't say anything. I tell them, oh, capacitor's bad. I change it. I leave. They call back 2 days later and they say, oh, Gil was just out here. Why didn't he say something? I don't want that to happen. So that's what I teach. Yeah, of course it is. Obviously in the residential field, replacing the system is your ultimate end goal. Most residential companies, replacement is going to be, 65 to 80+% of your business makeup of your revenue. But there's still a right and a wrong way to do it, in my opinion. And I feel like a lot of these big companies, they don't care if they upset a customer because they spend buku dollars in marketing that they're just, okay, they pissed off one, they'll get the next one. So that's just how I feel. I believe that I'll build that through the customer. I want to get that customer for life. My goal is to sell them a new system, if that happens, to service it the whole life of that system, 15, 20 years, make that thing last as long as I possibly can while upgrading it, keeping it efficient. I always say safe, reliable, efficient. Okay. Doing all those things, building that relationship. And when that dies, guess what? Then we'll replace it again. There's no better feeling than that. To sell somebody a system when they need it, be the company or the person who services said system. And when they want to upgrade that, to be the one to do it. It's an awesome feeling. I'm a relational person. I like to build relationships. That's why I like residential. I'm not saying you can't do it in the other fields. I'm not saying that you can't, but that's what's drawn me to residential because I like that side of it. Do. But I won't. I'm not going to say that I disagree with you at all, Leanne, because I do not. That's just like those shows they have. Like, what is it? Like the Chris Hansen or whatever. When they'll set up these HVAC techs, and the one time it was like 5 out of 6 were fucking shitbags. They had a legit technician come out, and all they did was like loosen a wire. And like 5 out of 6, only one guy was honest and was like, hey, like the wire was loose. Like, I'm not even going to charge you a diagnostic fee. Like, have a good day. All the other 5 were fucking shitbags. Like, man, your compressor's dead. He's really going to need a new system. I mean, yeah, that doesn't make us look bad. I mean, it makes us always look bad. I'm going to leave that in the comment. Just because you mentioned the company's name, I'm not going to put that on screen. But and when they bought the company I was working for, they told us, slap it in and we'll worry about yeah, exactly. Exactly. They're always worried about the new customer. They spend so much money in marketing. I'm talking like they saturate the market. Radio, billboards, TV. Normally it's always brand new vans. They saturate it. And then most of those big companies, they do all of the trades. The whole point is you call them and you never have to call anybody else. I understand the marketing and the business behind it. I'm not saying they're wrong, but I'm not saying they're wrong in what they're doing. They're wrong in how they do it, in my opinion. But yeah, HVAC guys, oh, you need an electrician? Here, we can get an electrician out. Oh, you need a plumber? I can call a plumber. Need sewer? I got that. Need a new roof? I mean, like they want it all to be in one house so that no matter what your problem is, you're never leaving said company. And there's one around here that is just like the company that you said, Leon, that I won't say their name because I have to be careful. Sadly, this podcast is big enough that I can be sued, which is why I have to watch my mouth sometimes, or I would be way more uncensored. You better believe that. But I do got to be careful sometimes. Which is why when a company gets big enough, obviously where I am now, the plan is to stay here, to finish my career, unless Zeke wants me. That's the only way I would leave. But normally when they get too big, like I like it, like the growing part when it's small and it's growing and the building and the foundation stuff and watching it grow. When it gets too big, I'm not sure how I feel about that. Normally not as fun, and maybe because I don't have to be as hands on, to be honest with you. Because when you get to like 10 mil, it kind of runs itself. It's kind of a well-oiled machine if you did everything right, and it just goes. When you used to have those customer complaints and you had to deal with them, now you have a customer complaint department. That's what they do. You know what I mean? I know you are, buddy. I know you are. Is why private equity in the trade is good and bad. Yeah, they're improving the pay rate for guys in operations on how to grow. Yes, but to be honest, though, I don't know how I feel about it, Leon. To be honest with you, and to be honest, I think I have more negative feelings than positive feelings. I think some business owners, like I used to like, I would think just like a tech because that's what I had most of my life. Now that I've been, I've owned things and I've been a general manager, I've been second in command of multi-million-dollar companies. I've seen both sides of it. And I used to see when these owners would sell, I would get pissed. And sorry, Sammy. Yeah, I had to change some things around, man. It's been goofy this week, but thank you for being here, brother. Sorry about that. But yeah, when business owners would sell their company to private equity, and I would be like, man, all they're doing is fucking their employees. And so you can go back on some of these episodes. I've had business owners on here who have sold their company. Some just sold it outright. Some sold it to private equity. And newcomers coming in, Mr. East Coast, Mr. Sammy Andrew. What is up, fellas? Thank you for being here, man. Just so you know, the questions that I'm asking, if you want to put it in all caps so I can see it, what are some of the biggest issues facing HVAC techs today? Put it in all caps and we'll cover whatever you have next topic. But shit, I forgot where I was going now. Selling to private equity. Yeah, I would be mad at the business owners because I would feel like the technicians are getting screwed when I see, I would hear about technicians going and there's like, chains on the door and like that kind of stuff. But then I feel for some business owners, like when you start a company, like it's a lot of work, man. Like I see the work that's put in, that I've put in, with the people that I'm with. I see the work that Zeke puts into his company. Like it's blood, sweat, and tears to make these things grow. When you go home, it's not like everybody else. You get to lay your head down the pillow. You got to worry about how the bills are getting paid. Are the checks going to clear? Do I have work for all these employees, to make sure that their families are taken care of? Like it's a lot of stress. And if you have like a family business, like a son or a daughter to pass it on to, then that's great. Do that. Some people don't have that. So at some point, they have to have a way out. So if they sell it and they get their money, obviously they want their employees taken care of and they try to as long as they try to set them up in the best position, I can't really fault them for that. I can't. But I worry about what's happening in some of those situations. I've heard some good things. I've been surprised where some say, hey, they want to the technicians and the employees are the valuable part, not just the customer base, to keep the revenue where it is and to grow it. So they come in and they take care of the employees. They do give raises, like Leon said. But sometimes that doesn't happen. So I'm not sure how I feel about private equity. I've also heard about some of these dealings where these companies, they sell these business owners a pipe dream and they get fucked. So that's one thing about doing this podcast is, I hear a lot of things come to me in this industry. So I hear all different angles of it, and I've heard both sides. So I don't know how I feel about private equity yet. I don't know if I could go either way. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Leon. I'm glad that you're a positive situation. See, that's what I mean. And for just as many times, if you said that, I've had the other thing be said too. So that's why it's hard for me to make a decision either way. But it does make me feel good for you to say it's been 100 times better. So that's awesome. I'm very, very happy to hear that. Yeah, I just saw Zeke's comment. Owners need to understand if the tech can bill it honestly, we can pay them correctly. Very true. Yeah, no guest today, Sammy. It was always just me. Which I was actually looking forward to just having a show that was just me, to be quite honest with you. Um, but I cleared off a lot of guests, but I have a lot of bookings coming up. Next week, is it next week? I know Mr. Adrian, reliable HVACR, comes on soon, but I think it is. Let's see. Ding, 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 ding. No, not next week, the week after that. So next week is going to be another show where it's just me. Yeah, see, there you go. It's, so I've seen both sides. Commercial, probably, to be honest, I don't have much experience about private equity in the commercial side. So maybe I should say that too. Most of the experience I'm talking about has been on the residential side. Anyone else have any feedback? Anything they want to throw out there? Even if it's something that we can discuss, it doesn't necessarily have to be, 100% your thought. Things that are facing HVAC techs today. And it could be techs, installers, owners, whatever. I mean, whatever, however specific you want to be it. It can be affecting you personally. I mean, someone whatever. Just throw something out there. Just put it in all caps so I can see it. And let's talk about it, mofo. Also, if you did not hear me earlier, the number that is up here, if somebody wants to call in, you can call into the show, 443-422-1000. You don't have to. It's up there if you want to. But that number, starting today, I have a new thing that is called the Uncensored Neglected Text Line. So you can text that number throughout the week. You can text me what you're doing. You can text me videos, text me pictures, whatever it is. I will go through and read all those. The ones that I think are the best ones, I will share on the podcast. If they're really good, I will share them on my social media sites. So that now exists. This is the podcast phone sitting right here. Please don't call it because I will not answer it. It's not going to be with me. It literally sits in the studio. Oh, wow. I guess I misread the thumbnail. I see what you mean now. Yeah, Sam. So I've said this a couple of times, but you weren't in here, buddy. It's all right. Oh yeah, I know, right? Don't lose it again. Yeah, that's why it stays down here. LOL. Um, yeah, Sam. So the new business that I'm running, that I'm a partner in, I've been riding with the technicians, working late, getting off late. and I have an hour travel, because I live an hour away. And I'm not getting home till late, long story short. Wednesday night, didn't eat anything, got home late. It had 7 different things out for the show. I got some of it fixed, and then when I tried to go live, it wasn't letting me go live, and I just didn't feel like messing with it. Planned on doing it last night, got home late again. I was just fucking beat. Wanted to spend some time with my daughters, and then didn't. Then tonight, power went out. Thank God it came right back on. But when the fucking wind blows around here, the power goes out. Sucks, man. I was so amped about buying this house. It's a nice big house. It's beautiful. But like I said, this house has been a little burden. I cannot wait to move, which actually could be soon, to be honest with you. I'll actually call you, Zeke, because I might be moving sooner than later. Need better teaching in trade schools and better apprenticeships in America. I agree 100%. I'm so glad you brought that up, Leon. 100%. So and this isn't in a political talk, but with President Trump trying to bring manufacturing and those kind of blue collar, jobs back here, I think it's awesome. But Mike Rowe was on Fox News or something. He said, yes, that's good. But last year, there was 400,000 blue collar jobs that were unfilled. We need to put more into the infrastructure for blue collar jobs. The enthusiasm needs to be there again as far as the standards for our trade schools in high schools, these vocational schools. They either did away with them or they're fucking skeleton crews. They're a fraction of what they used to be. We need to start there. There needs to be a mandate for trade schools as far as what they're teaching, what the expectation is for these people to get. And the mandates as far as all 50 states, as far as I'm concerned. Some of you may disagree. And I've said this a million times, you've been watching me. When I first started doing this podcast and I found out that only 18 out of 50 states require licensing for HVAC, I was fucking dumbfounded. That should be that should be a federal thing, mandated, that you have to have a license, a apprentice license, a journeyman's license, a master's license, licensed technicians out here touching these pieces of equipment. And training should be the same. Like a bunch of these schools they're robbing these kids blind. They're charging them $20,000 for an 18-month course. They give them some tools that they're probably buying in bulk. And they're like, man, when you get out of this class, you should be making $35 an hour and have your own van. When sadly, they're glorified filter changers when they get out. I'm all for that. You guys didn't see, I'm going to put that on the screen so you can see it. Mr. Freon Leon says trade school should be free in community college. And amen. I fucking love that idea. I love it. You can make a good living in this trade. I've been able to do a lot of things I never thought that I would ever be able to do because of this industry. As many of you out there probably have. You're living good lives. Maybe you're not rich, but you're doing okay. You're getting by. And plus, life's not about all the material things anyway. But the whole training thing, that just frustrates me when I see this. Then I see these kids who get lied to and they come to look for a job and find out they've been lied to, that they're not going to make $35 an hour and get their own van. And some of them say, fuck it. I'm going to go do something else. You can only pay me $20 an hour. Well, shit, I got a cousin who paid me $22 an hour to do X. So they go do that. Now we just lost that person who was excited, who was trying to be in the trade because they were lied to by some grimy corporate school. They're gone forever. They're probably never coming back. And that kills me. Or people that get into this trade and they don't realize the opportunity that they have. This trade, as well as any job, You're only going to get out of it what you put into it. Okay. If you put in shit, then don't be mad when you get shit out of it. But if you put in a lot of work and you try to be better, you try to learn on your own time, like Leon's trying to get his employees to do. You try to better yourself. That's when this becomes a career. It's not a job. It's a passion. And things will change for you. Let's go down some of these comments. We have Mr. Zeke. Only 30% of people pass the journeyman's test in Maryland. Need to be tested on the work process, not a bunch of math formulas. I'm going to work on that next. Yeah, I agree with that as well. So we do have the test here in Maryland, which, okay. I mean, at least somebody has to take a test, but sadly, there's no technical questions. I know people that have master's license in the state of Maryland that I forgot more than they know. You hand them a wrench and a set of gauges, they might as well shove that wrench up their fucking ass because they don't know what they're doing, but they're good at reading and retaining information. Okay? They can read the book and study. They can remember the answers. They know where to find them because it's open book, and they can pass the test. So I'm glad you brought that up. I do think the testing and the questioning needs to be different. But here we got all caps from Mr. Tunge asking. He says, what do you think about them replacing the copper lines with something else? To be honest, I don't see it happening anytime soon, to be honest. I mean, I really don't. Has anybody else heard anything about something they were going to replace it with? I feel like if they were going to do that, they would have done it already. I don't know what they would replace it with. I don't know, buddy. That's a good question. I don't know what they would replace it with, to be honest with you. I don't know what the alternative is. I mean, I know on refrigerants, they're trying to get to more, they're trying to get to natural refrigerants, but we can only go so far, which a lot of it, I think, is a money-making scheme, part of it. But yeah, as far as that, I'm not sure, man. That's a good question. I don't have an answer for that one. We hate at school. That is why most of us are in the trades. But very true. That's why I tell some of these young kids, if you don't like it in school, then why go to college? When you go to college, they don't care if you show up. They'll take mommy and daddy's money while you're out partying, drinking. You can do that at home. You can do that on the weekends when you're making good money in the trades. You don't got to go waste it at college just to say you went and flunked out. See, someone told me recently it made sense. The contractor's license is a business test, and codes and rules test are not a trades test. So a lot of states only have a contractor's license that is business related, and really it's just to get a fee showing that you're a legitimate business. Here, our test, so apprentice license, you pay $10. There's no test. You go online, fill in your information, you pay your $10, and you're at HVAC apprentice. It's that simple. Journeyman's and master's test it's codes. It's all code. It's a bunch of goofy questions. Like I always remember, if you have a rooftop unit within so many feet of the edge, you have to have a railing. How many feet is it? 13 feet. Like just dumb things that I remember from taking that test that I don't really ever use. So yeah, most of them are their code stuff for what we do. I heard it was a tubing like the radiant heat stuff. Did you really, Zeke? I don't know. Maybe. I haven't heard much about it, so I'm not sure. I don't know what it is and what the product is to really have an opinion, so I don't want to be ignorant to it. Let's see. We got another question. Mr. Tom just coming back. A lot of people want to see YouTube stocks fast track to make money. I'm not sure what you mean by this, buddy. A lot of people want to see YouTube stocks, like the actual stock of YouTube. I'm not sure what you mean by this, brother. Can you elaborate a little bit? Sorry, I'm probably the moron reading your question, but if you could elaborate for me a little bit, I'm not exactly sure what you mean. Yeah, please do, Zeke. I would love to see. I mean, when you said that, I think I remember hearing about something, but I can't picture it. And I definitely don't know enough about it to be able to make a comment either way. I just feel like, so knowing a bunch of things in the trade, I just feel like even if that does happen, it's going to be a slow adaptation because these companies like RLS, I get to know Mr. Paul, the president of RLS. All the money invested in the design of these press fittings for the future, building these giant factories to make them. If they thought that copper was going away anytime soon, they wouldn't have invested that kind of money into this stuff. You know what I mean? So that's the only thing that makes me think that copper's not going anywhere anytime soon. See, uh, they want to do YouTube HVAC to make money. Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, no. More people are doing that. The sad part is watch these, like the people that are doing it like legitimately, and I don't know all of them. I don't know everybody, but a lot of the ones that are doing it legitimately and trying to do things the right way, to show people to do things the right way. I know most of them. And normally the ones that start with good intentions never do it to make money. It just ends up that way. I didn't start this podcast for financial gain. If you'd asked me 10 years ago that this podcast would be at the level it's at now, as far as downloads, following, financially, I'd have been like, dude, get the fuck out of here. No way. So people that started for the wrong reasons, that could be a problem, what their motives are. But I'm for people doing it the right way and showing the right way to do things. But know who you're watching, because sadly, there's people out there that they have that good talk, but they're showing you the wrong way to do stuff, man. They're showing you the wrong way to do stuff. Let's see. Mr. Sam Andrews said Service Titan stock went up 50%. I bet Service Titan's probably an amazing stock to be in. A lot of trade stocks do pretty well. Oh, Mr. Adrian's back. Mr. Reliable. See, I'm just going to keep everybody. I feel like when the channel started to grow, I gave all these wrenches out. And now whenever I do fucking live streams, like everybody in my chat is wrenches. Maybe I'm just going to give everybody one. The whole chat's going to be fucking moderators. It's all right. When this thing finally kicks off, it'll make sense. I won't need to add anymore. All right, well, fine. I'm going to turn the number off because nobody's called in to talk to me. So, fuck you guys, all right? Fuck you guys. I didn't want to talk to you anyway. Pay for this podcast phone for no reason. But don't forget, guys, the uncensored, neglected text line. Put that number back up. You can text this number throughout the week. It will be in the description as well. 443-422-1000. You can text me throughout the week. It can be actually just like, a written text if you want to say something. It could be a video. It could be a picture of what you're doing. Whatever. Somebody doing something stupid, something funny, a joke, whatever. I don't care. The good ones I will read on the show next week. And ones that are really good, like video wise or any of them, I will put out on my social media page. All right. So Uncensored Neglected text line. See what Sammy's saying. Hey, that's how all Amway works. All the distributors are customers. Yeah, it's funny. So me and my dad actually did something like Amway years ago. It was called Team National, but it was pretty much about like group buying power. So I didn't have to buy, you know, 37 boxes of toothpaste and sell it to people like fucking Amway was. Not to shit on anybody that did Amway, but it was about you're pretty much selling a membership. And one was like an individual membership. I want to say was like $895, $795, or one that you could bring in like your wife and your children that was like 2,000 something dollars. And every person you signed up, they would go under you, under the pyramid. Then they would sign people. And then, as your people signed up people, you would make money off of that. But what they got was these group buying power, whether it was cars, jewelry, like you name it, you could buy it at discounted rates. So it actually was pretty cool. Plus, I had a good time with my dad. We would go to these conventions and shit. We went to ones in Louisville, Kentucky. We went to ones in Kansas City. We went to ones in Florida. It was a good time. I think if I'd have been a little bit older in that, I probably would have fucking made a killing, to be quite honest with you. But I was a little young and kind of immature at the time. But I did sign up a few people, though. Really, all you had to do is if you got one person who was a fucking, a beast, you were kind of set up. And then I'd have these things that was like, you could be like a bronze, silver, platinum, or gold, platinum, double platinum. And if you reached a certain level, you were guaranteed certain amounts of money regardless. It was pretty wild. Did that because it was all wrenches in here. Oh, gotcha. Ah, you're good, Tons. You're good, buddy. I appreciate you. But guys, I have been on here for more than an hour, man, but I enjoyed this. I like doing these solo shows. I really do. I like this because I like doing the interaction, talking about things that are trade. When I have a guest, it's hard for me to be able to talk to you guys because I'm trying to focus on the guest and carrying the show because I also worry about what the audio is going to turn out. But when it's just me, I'm just focused on you guys having the dialogue back and forth. If you guys realize, that's why I read your questions out loud. So if somebody, listens to the audio afterwards, they understand the question that I'm answering. But thank you guys for bearing with me this week, man. I really do. I know it was kind of goofy. Still going to be on Wednesday nights. I really am thinking about moving the show to Friday nights. I'm going to be quite honest with you, moving forward. Because my plan, like I said before, is to do the podcast at 8:00. Whenever the podcast ends, I'll go right into a hangout. So whether I have a guest or not, we'll go right into a hangout where people can hop in and do stuff. So that is my plan. I just got to work up to it. Obviously, in this new business, I got a lot of things going on right now. So I don't want to keep making commitments to do stuff and telling you guys and not doing them. It makes me feel like shit, and I don't want to do that. So that is the plan. But until then, I'll be on Wednesdays. Whenever that happens, I'll let you guys know 100%. But with that being said, man, I'm gonna get ready to close this thing out, man. It's been a long day. I'm gonna go hang out. My daughters are probably asleep, but I'm gonna go make sure they're not. And if they are, I'll at least give them a kiss goodnight. But thank all of you for being here, man, and bearing with me this week. I really, really appreciate it. Another solo show next week. If you guys have any topics for shows, especially when it's solo, that you would like for me to talk about, put it in the comments. Message me, whatever it is. Don't put it in the live chat after the show's over. Put it in the comments of the show because the live chat will go away. or let me know, email me. Hey, Gil, I'd love if we covered this topic. I mean, I'll help talk about anything. And if it's a topic that maybe I think I'm not great on, or I think I'll bring somebody else on. I mean, whatever you guys want to do, but please, I want your feedback. Let me know the topics that you want to hear about. You are my customers. You are my end users. So I care about what you guys want. I'm down for that, Zeke. I'm down for that 100%. Hang out at the crab deck. I am down. But yeah, with that being said, man, let me get ready to close this thing out, man. I appreciate you guys. I hope you had an amazing week. Hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. I appreciate you guys for supporting me, especially through this week with having a show, not having a show, Friday night, not Friday night, Saturday night. Oh, is it happening? Time changing. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Didn't mean to do that to you. I respect you guys too much. I respect your time too much to do that to you intentionally. But even if it's not intentionally, it's still fucking frustrating sometimes. I get it. So my bad. All right. My bad. Anyway, make sure you follow the podcast on all the social media sites to stay up to date. Do not forget about the uncensored, neglected texts. Please send me funny texts. Tell me to go fuck myself. I don't care what it is. Videos, pictures, whatever it is, something funny happens throughout the day. Send it with me. Share your journey throughout the day with me. I think it's going to be awesome as this gets going. I got the idea from something, and I really think it's going to be awesome here. So you can say HVAC Uncensored or whatever. The uncensored, neglected text line. Don't be sending me no fucking, nudie pics. Unless your girl's hot, then I'll stare at it. But sending pictures of your butthole or nothing. Don't be stupid, all right? But yeah, just to be fun. Tell me what you're doing. It can be, like I said, a joke, whatever it is. Text it, 443-422-1000. All right? We'll start doing those. I will share them on the following podcast. And then if they're really, really funny, I will try to share some of them on all my social media sites. If you're an upcoming, influencer, I'll share it and try to help you. You know what I mean? Tag you in it as well. So we can do it for a bunch of different ways. Uncensored, neglected text line, 443-422-1000. All right? Guys, be safe out there. Keep your head on a swivel. I don't care if you're driving, putting the ladder up, whatever it is. Please be safe. I want each and every one of you to make it home the same way that you left. All right? Do the little things. Set yourself apart from the next guy or girl. There's no such thing as staying the same. All right? Keep trying to make yourself be better, whether it's read a book, listen to a podcast, an online class, whatever it is. Keep trying to better yourself. Okay? Even if it's not even in work, it's something personal. Just keep growing. Keep moving forward. All right? It just it's fulfilling. It makes you feel better. Just keep doing it. Don't ever get stale. Don't ever feel like you're stuck in a rut. Get out of it, get moving, and always keep learning. All right. Do the little things. Help the next person. All right. Like give back to somebody. You may think that you don't know a lot, but you probably know more than you think, and you know more than somebody else. Help that person. Try to give back to the trade. We all love this trade. We say there's not enough people, but are we really helping to give back to our industry? Are we? Look in the mirror. Help somebody. Help them grow. Answer a question. Be there for them. And then just give a shit about other people. Guys, care about each other. I always say this. If you see somebody that looks out of the norm from what they normally are and it's out of character, ask them, hey, brother, you all right? I noticed you acting a little different. For all you know, that simple question could be life-changing for that person, all right? Just give a shit about somebody else, all right? You spread positivity, you get positivity back, all right? That being said, I love you, mofos. Have a great week, and I'll see you all next Wednesday.
Thanks for listening to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram, or email us anytime at hvacuncensored@gmail.com. Now, get back to work. Shut this down. The views and opinions shared on the HVAC Uncensored Podcast may not necessarily be the views and opinions of our sponsors or guests.
I got these pre-made buttons for the chat, and they finally work. How about that shit? Thanks for coming, everybody. Have a good one. See ya.